20 AI gadgets are sitting on Amazon right now that most people have never heard of, and a few of them are so useful it is almost strange they are not everywhere yet. Not the robot vacuum everyone already owns. Not the smart speaker collecting dust on a kitchen counter. The devices on this list are doing something genuinely different. Something that would have felt like science fiction 5 years ago and today costs less than a phone upgrade, less than a week of coffee, less than a single night out in some cases. 20 gadgets. One rule: every single one had to do something real, not just look impressive in a product photo. Novelty without function got cut immediately. What survived is a list of hidden AI devices, the kind most people scroll past because they do not know what they are looking at, and the kind that tend to become indispensable the moment someone actually tries them. Stay through number 1. It is the gadget with the strongest case for changing how you sleep, work, and move through your day, and almost nobody is talking about it yet. Before we get started, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss the latest AI gadgets, futuristic tech, and smart inventions. Also, check the links in the description if you want to learn more about any of the gadgets featured in today's video. Now, let's jump straight into the countdown. Number 20. The Amazon Echo Dot Max. At around $99, the Echo Dot Max is the version of Amazon's smart speaker most people overlook because the name sounds like a minor update. It is not. The Max brings significantly larger acoustic hardware than the standard Dot, producing room-filling sound that the smaller Dots simply cannot match, while running Alexa Plus on top, a meaningfully more capable conversational AI model with multi-step reasoning and context retention across queries. What makes it belong on a hidden gadgets list is the combination: a genuinely good speaker with a genuinely capable AI assistant at a price that makes the mainstream Bluetooth speaker market look like a poor trade. Most people spending $100 on a speaker are not getting anything that also manages their calendar, controls their smart home, answers detailed questions, and retains context through a conversation. The Echo Dot Max does all of that, and the audio quality is good enough that the smart features feel like a bonus rather than the product's entire reason for existing. Number 19. The Amazon Astro. Available on invitation and priced in the premium range, the Amazon Astro is the closest thing to a household robot assistant currently shipping to real homes. It navigates autonomously using cameras, sensors, and a continuously learned map of the home, patrols when asked, delivers items between rooms, and connects to Alexa for voice interaction from wherever it is in the house rather than from a fixed location. Most people do not know it exists at all, and those who do tend to dismiss it as a novelty without considering what a mobile Alexa presence actually changes about daily home life. A fixed smart speaker answers questions from one spot. Astro follows. It comes to the kitchen when called from the bedroom. It checks on a room when asked. For households where someone works remotely, where elderly family members live independently, or where security monitoring matters, the autonomy is the feature, and nothing else in this category ships from Amazon's own hardware team. Number 18. The Raspberry Pi AI Kit. At around $70, the Raspberry Pi AI Kit adds a dedicated AI accelerator to a Raspberry Pi 5, enabling local inference for vision models, object detection, and machine learning workloads at speeds that make real projects practical rather than just theoretical. The kit includes the Hilo 8L AI Accelerator module and the M2 Hat Plus, connecting to the Pi's PCI interface and delivering up to 13 tera operations per second of AI processing on hardware small enough to build into almost anything. For makers, educators, and researchers who want to build something that uses AI to perceive and respond to the physical world, the combination of a Raspberry Pi 5 and this kit is the most accessible, serious edge AI platform available at this price. Applications already built on this hardware span wildlife cameras, production line inspection systems, and home automation projects that run entirely locally without cloud dependency. At $70 for the AI component alone, the barrier to entering that category has never been lower. Number 17. the Google Coral USB Accelerator. At around $59, the Coral USB Accelerator is a small dongle that plugs into a computer or single-board device and dramatically speeds up local AI inference, specifically the kind of edge AI tasks that would otherwise strain a CPU or require a cloud connection to complete in reasonable time. It adds a dedicated tensor processing unit to whatever device it connects to, handling the computational heavy lifting of running trained machine learning models locally and fast. For a Raspberry Pi running image classification or object detection tasks, the Coral Accelerator is the difference between a prototype that works in theory and one that works in practice, at real speed, without lag. The reason it sits on this list is that it solves a problem most people do not know they have until they try to run AI locally and realize how slow the alternative is. Once that moment arrives, a $59 dongle that makes it actually viable looks like an extraordinary deal. Number 16. The Aqara Camera Hub G3. At around $99, the Aqara Camera Hub G3 combines a smart home hub with a security camera and gesture recognition in one device, running local AI processing for facial recognition and gesture-triggered automations without routing data to external servers for every interaction. It connects to and controls Zigbee and other smart home devices directly, triggering lights, locks, scenes, and routines based on who walks into frame or what gesture is made in front of it all, without requiring an active internet connection for the core logic to function. For anyone already building a smart home ecosystem, the G3 adds local AI intelligence to the physical space that most hub and camera combinations still route through the cloud. For anyone starting fresh, it is one of the more efficient single purchases available in the category at this price. Number 15. The Firewalla Purple SE. At around $199, the Firewalla Purple SE is a home network security device that runs continuous monitoring, intrusion detection, and smart traffic analysis for every device on a home network, giving visibility into what every connected device is doing at the network level and flagging anomalies before they become problems. Home networks have become genuinely complex, with smart TVs, cameras, thermostats, speakers, and laptops all sharing the same connection. And most routers offer essentially no visibility into what those devices are doing or communicating with. Firewalla provides that visibility in a dashboard readable without technical expertise and blocks suspicious traffic automatically based on continuously updated threat intelligence. For anyone running a home office or a household with multiple smart devices, the Purple SE makes a home network behave more like a managed corporate network without requiring any IT expertise to interpret the output. Number 14. The Eufy Security S330 with BionicMind AI. Priced in the range of $199 to $299, the Eufy Security S330 uses BionicMind AI to do something most security cameras still cannot. It learns to recognize the specific people who belong in a space and distinguishes them from strangers, delivery drivers, and anyone else passing through. Instead of constant notifications every time anything moves in frame, the camera learns over time which faces belong to the household and surfaces alerts only when someone unfamiliar appears. That shift from motion-triggered noise to genuinely meaningful alerts is the gap between a security camera that gets ignored and one that actually gets used. Local storage keeps footage on the device rather than behind a cloud subscription, both a privacy advantage and a cost advantage over competitors with ongoing monthly fees. Number 13. The OBSpot Tiny 2. At around $329, the OBSpot Tiny 2 is an AI-powered webcam with automatic subject tracking built in, meaning it follows the person in frame as they move, adjusts framing, locks onto faces and bodies, and maintains professional composition without anyone operating a camera or adjusting a tripod mid-session. For content creators, remote workers, and anyone who presents or records video regularly, this eliminates the static, locked-off shot that makes most webcam footage look like a surveillance feed. The Tiny 2 moves. It tracks. It keeps the subject centered and well-framed automatically, handling in hardware what previously required a dedicated camera operator or elaborate software workarounds that added latency and unreliability. For a creator without a production team, or a remote worker who wants video calls to look genuinely professional without any setup effort. The Tiny 2 is the most practical AI camera available at this price. Number 12. The Timekettle W4 Pro. At around $299 to $400, the Timekettle W4 Pro are AI-powered translation earbuds that handle real-time spoken language translation for face-to-face conversations, removing the language barrier in the moment it exists rather than after the fact. The system works with both earbuds in use one person wears one, the other wears the other, and the translation passes between them in near real time across dozens of languages, keeping pace with conversational flow in a way that translation apps on a phone screen simply cannot. The interaction model is what matters most. Holding a phone between two people to translate is awkward and performative. Wearing an earbud that handles the translation invisibly changes the social dynamic of the conversation entirely. For travelers, business professionals working internationally, or anyone navigating a multilingual environment regularly, the W4 Pro closes a gap that has not had a hardware solution this practical until recently. Number 11. The Echo Show 11. At around $219, the Echo Show 11 turns a room into something considerably more capable than a room with a smart speaker. The 11-inch screen adds video calling, visual recipes and routines, smart home camera dashboards, and a persistent ambient display for calendars, weather, and news, all managed through Alexa Plus, which handles multi-step requests and retains conversational context in a way earlier versions could not. The hidden quality here is what changes about a home when a capable visual assistant is positioned in a kitchen or living space rather than operating as a voice-only device. The Show 11 becomes the coordination layer for the household, a communication hub, a display for smart home feeds, and a screen for calls without picking up a phone. Number 10. The Echo Studio. At around $219, the Echo Studio is Amazon's highest-end standalone smart speaker, and the one that makes the case that Alexa does not have to live in a mediocre audio product. A 5-driver array, spatial audio, and room adaptive tuning produce sound that competes honestly with dedicated audio hardware in its price range, while the full Alexa Plus intelligence layer runs on top. For anyone who has dismissed smart speakers on audio quality grounds, the Studio is the product that removes that objection. The sound fills a room in a way no other Alexa-enabled speaker matches, and the AI assistant is now capable enough that the smart features add rather than compromise. Number 9. The Withings ScanWatch 2. At around $300 and above, the Withings ScanWatch 2 looks exactly like a traditional analog watch. The case is round, the dial is clean, the hands are physical, and nothing about the exterior signals that it is running continuous AG monitoring, blood oxygen tracking, respiratory analysis, sleep staging, and activity detection underneath. Battery life runs to 30 days, which separates it from every smartwatch in its category requiring nightly charging. For anyone who wants serious health monitoring without wearing something that announces itself as a technology product, professionals who prefer a traditional aesthetic, people who want passive tracking without active engagement with a screen, the ScanWatch 2 is the most discreet, capable health tracker available in this form factor. Number 8. The RingConn Gen 2 Air Smart Ring. At around $199 to $299, the RingConn Gen 2 Air tracks heart rate, blood oxygen, sleep stages, activity, stress, and recovery continuously from a titanium band on a finger without a subscription fee and without requiring a constantly connected phone. The form factor is the point. A ring disappears on the hand in a way a watch never fully does. There is no screen to check, no nightly charging required, no band that interferes with workouts or sleep. For people who want serious health data without the overhead a smartwatch introduces, the Gen 2 Air is the most capable no-subscription smart ring available at this price. Number 7. The PLAUD NotePin S AI Voice Recorder. At around $159, the PLAUD NotePin S is a wearable AI voice recorder about the size of a large button, worn as a lapel pin or clipped to clothing. It records conversations and meetings when active, then automatically transcribes, summarizes, and organizes everything into searchable notes, returning the attention that would otherwise be split between listening and writing. For professionals, students, and anyone who moves through a day full of meetings and conversations where details matter, this is the device that closes the gap between what was said and what was actually remembered. The form factor makes it genuinely passive, not a phone placed on a table, not a recorder pulled from a bag, but something worn that handles capture quietly in the background. The AI summary is what turns hours of audio into something immediately actionable. Number 6. The Garmin Catalyst. At around $699 to $999, the Garmin Catalyst is a purpose-built driving performance optimizer for track use, running AI analysis on every lap in real time to identify exactly where time is being lost, and what changes in braking, acceleration, and cornering line would recover it. It mounts to the windshield and delivers lap-by-lap coaching feedback with segment-by-segment breakdowns that a professional data analyst would previously have needed to produce manually. The Catalyst builds optimal lap targets from the driver's own best segments, the best braking point from one lap, the best apex from another, assembled into a theoretical best that becomes the coaching baseline. For performance driving enthusiasts who spend time on track, it turns every session into a coach session without a professional co-pilot required. Number 5. The Kindle Scribe Colorsoft. At around $629, the Kindle Scribe Colorsoft brings a high-resolution Color E ink display to the handwriting, annotation, and long-form reading experience. The display renders color without the backlighting of a standard tablet, making it readable in direct sunlight and comfortable for extended sessions in a way that LCD and old screens are not. The AI features handle notebook organization, note summarization, and smart search across handwritten content, converting handwriting to structured searchable text without requiring the user to type anything. For professionals, students, and writers who prefer pen-on-paper thinking but need the searchability and organization of digital notes, the Scribe Colorsoft is the most capable device in this category. The color display adds meaningfully over the monochrome version when annotating PDFs and reviewing color-coded documents. At this price, it is a considered purchase. But for the person who lives in notes and documents, nothing else at this size and battery life does what it does. Number 4. The Ray-Ban Meta Gen 2 Smart Glasses. At around $299 and above, the Ray-Ban Meta Gen 2 are sunglasses that contain a camera, open ear speakers, 5 microphones, and an AI assistant capable of answering questions about what the wearer is looking at in real time. They look exactly like Ray-Ban sunglasses. Because they are Ray-Ban sunglasses, the hardware is built into the frame without altering the form, which means wearing them looks like wearing glasses, not like wearing a technology product. Ask the glasses what plant is in the window. Ask them to read the menu. Ask them to translate the sign. The assistant answers through the open ear speakers in real time, processing what the camera sees and responding as a live visual query. For travelers, for people who want hands-free AI access throughout the day, or for anyone curious about where wearable AI is actually heading, the Gen 2 is the product that makes the category feel real rather than theoretical. It is the most overlooked, seriously capable AI wearable on the market. Number 3. The Roborock Saros Z70. At around $1,299, the Roborock Saros Z70 is a robot vacuum and mop with a 5-axis robotic arm that extends to pick up objects from the floor before cleaning socks, cables, small toys, the items that defeat every other robot vacuum by getting tangled in the brush or simply pushed around the room. The arm identifies objects using onboard AI vision, determines which ones to move and which to navigate around, and handles the preliminary clearing that has always required a human to prepare the floor before a robot could do its job. Every previous generation of robot vacuum required the floor to already be cleared. The Z70 clears it. The cleaning map, obstacle detection, mop lifting, and auto empty base are all competitive with the best systems at this tier, but the arm is what makes it genuinely different. For anyone who has owned a robot vacuum and still found themselves doing a pre-clean sweep before running it, the Saros Z70 is the direct answer to that frustration. Number 2. The DREAME Matrix 10 Ultra. At around $1,699, the DREAME Matrix 10 Ultra operates at the top of what autonomous floor cleaning hardware can currently do. AI-powered obstacle navigation, automatic mop washing and drying, floor type detection, and a self-maintaining base station that handles the post-cleaning logistics that require human attention on lesser systems. The Matrix AI builds and refines an understanding of the home's layout over time, adjusting cleaning routes based on how each space is actually used rather than running a fixed pattern on every cycle. At this price, it is a premium purchase in a category where premium means the device genuinely runs without ongoing management. The self-maintenance loop cleaning, drying, refilling, and emptying is handled internally. For a household where floor cleaning is a daily task and autonomous operation is the actual requirement, the Matrix 10 Ultra is one of the few systems that fully delivers on that promise. Number 1. The Rest Evercool Plus Cooling Sheet. At around $260, the Rest Evercool Plus Cooling Sheet set is one of the most quietly impressive sleep upgrades available on Amazon right now. And genuinely hidden in plain sight, most people scrolling past it have no idea the fabric they are looking at is engineered to a specification that outperforms silk, linen, and cotton by a measurable scientific standard. This is not a sheet set that markets itself on thread count or softness, it markets itself on thermal conductivity, and it backs that claim with lab data. The Evercool Plus fabric carries a Qmax rating above 0.45, which is the industry measure for how quickly a material draws heat away from the skin on contact. Cotton sits at 0.11, silk sits at 0.19. These sheets more than double both, producing a cool to the touch surface the moment your body makes contact and maintaining that effect through the night by actively wicking moisture and dispersing trapped heat rather than holding it against the body. There are no chemical coatings involved. The cooling is structural, built into the fiber itself, which means it does not degrade or wash out over time. The second layer of technology is the Ionic Plus silver yarn woven directly into the fabric. Silver ions embedded at the fiber level, not applied as a surface treatment, provide permanent antimicrobial protection, inhibiting the bacteria that cause odor and degradation. The sheets are self-cleaning in a functional sense. They stay fresher longer between washes, and the effect does not diminish because it cannot be washed away. The reason this earns the top position is the combination of performance and price. Most cooling sleep solutions require hardware, subscriptions, or installations that put them out of reach for the average buyer. These sheets cost $260, ship with Prime, and work on any bed anyone already owns. For hot sleepers, people dealing with night sweats, or anyone who wakes up uncomfortable without understanding why, this is the most direct and affordable material solution the bedding market has produced. The 2025 Health Sleep Award winner, Amazon's Choice. Over 1,000 verified reviews. The results speak consistently. The bed feels different on the first night. 20 gadgets, one shared theme. The most interesting AI technology right now is not always the loudest. Some of it is sitting quietly on Amazon at prices that range from a modest experiment to a considered investment, and what connects all 20 is not price or category, but result. Each one removes friction from something real, something daily, something that actually matters. The glasses that see what you see. The ring that tracks what your body is doing without you thinking about it. The bed that learns how you sleep and makes it better while you are doing it. Every product is linked below. Prices change frequently, so check current listings before purchasing. Subscribe if you want to stay ahead of what is arriving next, because the next wave is already on its way.